Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Let me tell y'all something. Normally when I get on these videos, I have an outline and I talk from it. I ain't doing it. I'm just going to come out here and start to chat. First thing on my mind is Terence Crawford. Might as well get that out the way. Listen, man, some people disagree, but I think a lot of these fighters are putting duck sauce on the fried rice. Terence Crawford couldn't get fights before, for obvious reasons. But now, after what he's done, I'd say since the Errol Spence fight, and then, capping it off with the Canelo performance, ain't nobody really want to fight that man. Now, fans wanting to see him fight people, but nobody breaking their neck. If I was Alberto Biev, a Bivol, even David Benavidez, I'd be screaming for that fight. They're not doing it. At 160, nobody's calling Terence Crawford up. Nobody. You see, you got to make a public demand for a fight. And that's why I said, if Errol Spence returns back to the sport, which it looks like he may be, right? But we're not sure. Nothing definitive on it, but it looks like he could be returning. I think Errol Spence gets himself a good win against a good name. He's got to make a public demand. Terence Crawford need the rematch. We only got through half the chapter. Let's close the chapter out. Then we'll have a definitive answer on if you're really better than me. No more excuses about the car accident. No more excuses about pre-existing injuries. No more excuses about the weight cut. I've fully recovered. Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, I am ready. But you see, we're talking about Errol Spence making a public demand, but Errol Spence ain't even really back. So then you look at Boots Ennis. He ain't calling for Crawford. Virgil Ortiz, he ain't calling for Crawford. You know who's somebody who would fight Terence Crawford? It's two people. I think Tim Tszyu and Devin Haney. You know why? Because them dudes will fight anybody. But we know it's not realistic for Tim Tszyu to go mess with Terence Crawford. Weight-wise, yes. But where he's at in his career, no. Crawford would kill him. Devin Haney, his dad's the one who told Bud you can beat Canelo. You think his dad want his son to go mess with Crawford? He gonna be like, Devin, boy, get your ass back. Get your ass back over there. Don't you piss off Mr. Crawford. Don't you piss off Mr. Crawford. Devin Haney dad ain't going for that bullshit. Leave him alone, Devin. Stop taking it to the stupid. But it's kind of sad. So instead of getting a fighter to come out, make a public demand for a Crawford fight, what you get is what Crawford's doing right now. He's back in Saudi. When turkey's in the house, every day is Thanksgiving. Chilling in Saudi Arabia. Turkey Al-Sheikh and Crawford are trying to conjure up what he's going to do next. Now, one thing I'll tell you, the next step for Crawford is to fight again. It's not retirement. Okay? So, there you go. Round of applause. Crawford's not retiring. But this is the thing. He sure as hell ain't going to be out the ring for no damn year. And that's what you got to understand. Crawford ass can be back right after January. So, remember, he got all them belts. He's got mandatories. And I know Turkey Al-Sheikh is trying to, he and Dana White got the Zuffa boxing and everything. That's very interesting. Crawford is probably going to be fighting under Zuffa. And you got to look and see. So this is interesting. Who are they going to pull over to Zuffa that Terence Crawford can fight? It's got to be a big name. So I'm sure Turkey Al-Sheikh is working through this. I don't see Crawford, but he does have all the sanctioning. He has all those belts, all the sanctioning bodies. So I wonder how Turkey Al-Sheikh's going to approach that. Because under Zuffa, the sanctioning bodies, they mean nothing. You got the Zuffa belt, and then whoever becomes a champion, and under the Zuffa ecosystem, you go on and fight the champion who has the ring belt. But with Crawford being the undisputed at 168 with WBO, WBC, IBF, WBA, makes you wonder how they're going to approach this. So more to come on that. But I want to see what he does next. Now, you ask me, who do I think he should fight? I think he should fight Benavidez. The more I analyze and break this shit down, Crawford can beat Benavidez. And I know some of the fans out there who are Benavidez fans say, oh, Crawford can't beat the Mexican monster. Canelo was flat-footed. He was washed up. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. You guys were the same ones saying that Canelo was going to beat Terence Crawford's ass. And look, I fully examined that fight. I saw how Canelo could win. I saw how Crawford could win. I told you what Canelo had to do. Pressure, get to work early, land something, start to control the pace. He can control the pace, fight at the speed he likes, Canelo's going to win. He wasn't able to do that. I said, if Crawford can survive the first 4 rounds, it's all downhill for Canelo. That means that Canelo wasn't able to implement his game plan. And Crawford's going to just use angles. He's going to pivot. He's going to just counterpunch him. He's going to time him. He's going to outwork him. And Crawford's going to out-stamina him. We know Crawford had an expanded gas tank. And he had the functional mass. So he had the speed of a welterweight, power of a super middleweight. Everything that I said, it happened. So I wasn't surprised the fight went the way it went. But for you McNicholases out there who were picking Canelo to beat Crawford, now you're saying Canelo's washed up. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. You going to support your man or not? Now you're talking about, David Benavidez is going to beat him. How? Benavidez, man, out there, he was fighting Caleb Plant, a one-arm fighter. Caleb Plant won the distance. And now the fact that Benavidez's father is talking about Benavidez will come down to 168. That man be weight drained, dehydrated. His brain will shrink. He'll be concussed. As soon as Crawford land one of them Omaha, Nebraska bing-bings on his ass, he'll be concussed and be all she wrote. So realistically, I think he should fight David Benavidez. I think he wins that fight. But then you gotta look at 160. That's what's interesting. But anyway, more to come on Crawford, man. Now this comparison between Crawford and Mayweather. Hey, yo, hold your horses. There's only one Mayweather. Simple. Don't get me wrong. Crawford is doing the business. Floyd just got too much damn talent. All right? So I'm going to leave it as that. But what I will tell you, I was just watching Sugar Ray Leonard fight that guy, Danny Lalonde, or whatever his name was, after Sugar Ray came back after another retirement and fought this guy. Sugar Ray Leonard may whip all their asses, you know what I mean? But it's not taking anything away from Crawford, not taking anything away from Mayweather. What I'm saying is you got 3 guys where you can sit here and go all day about who would be who. That's what makes having that discussion so fun. But one thing for sure is Crawford legacy is intact in the history books. But I do think he comes down to 160. Janovic, Nursultanov do their thing. Well, Janovic and Lara does that thing. Victor will emerge. Nursultanov and Adamus does that thing. Victor will emerge. And then Crawford can somehow, maybe he relinquishes the belt at 168, comes to 160. Crawford is immediately going to be put into a mandatory position. He's going to go right at whoever has 3 belts, because there's 3 belts on the line between Lara and Janovic. So Crawford could face the winner of that to fight for 3 belts. Or he could fight the winner of Lara Adamus and fight for 1 belt. Either way it goes, in 2 fights, Crawford could end up becoming undisputed at 160. Now, as far as what I think about Crawford, can he do it? I think so. Them guys are killers though, man. But Crawford is too. And I just think Crawford always finds a way to up it and finds a way to win. And I don't think it'd be any different with him fighting at 160 pounds. Not taking nothing from those fighters, but it is what it is. Now, this thing with Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. I gotta do some more videos on that. But what I'm gonna tell you, I think Devin has to fight the perfect fight to beat Brian Norman Jr. I really do. And I just don't know if he can do that for 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Devin's not Dimitri Bivol. Devin's not Floyd Mayweather. He ain't Pernell Whitaker. Devin likes to fight. Yeah, he's a boxer, but he likes to fight. And I'm telling you, that's going to be his downfall. He may be having some success. He may feel like he's on cruise control. But between round 3 to round 6, he's going to get hit with the ATL Bing Bings. And it's going to be all bad. Now, I don't care what you say. Brian Norman Jr., the man has hammers for fists. You may hit him. You may have some success, but he's going to stand up to it. But when he starts hitting people, they don't stand up to that shit. I don't want to hear nothing about the fights with Brian Norman Jr. before Santillan. I don't want to hear about that shit. That's dumb. Look at what he's done in his last 3 fights. What makes you think he's now going to fight Devin Haney? Right? And all of a sudden, fall off. He's going to regress all of a sudden. You crazy? Who's got the momentum? Who's got the confidence? Brian Norman Jr. Devin Haney got the momentum and confidence? No. He's in a reconstitution phase. But somehow y'all are putting stock into that. What's he going to do? Get in the ring and continue reconstituting himself round after round after round, and by the 10th round, he would have fully rebuilt himself and be ready to fight? Nah, bullshit. The fight starts now in round goddamn 1. Not the fight starts now in round 10. So you'll hold your horse and stop taking it to the stupid. I got Brian Norman Jr., man. You know, I'm going to do more videos and I'm going to argue on Devin's behalf as well. But deep down, if you ask me, I don't gamble, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't get out the shower to take a piss. But if you said, yo, just for fun, who would you put your money on? Devin or Brian Norman Jr.? Brian Norman Jr. all day. You got to understand, let me show you something. With Devin Haney. This is what people got to understand. I know y'all like Devin Haney. I like him too. Devin Haney's the truth, man. He will fight anybody. Y'all can say what you want about Devin Haney. Devin Haney, he ain't here to play around. Devin Haney is here to fight. And he ain't playing with nobody. Where is he? Right here. Let me show you what the problem is for Devin Haney. Check this out. So this is Devin Haney. He's 5'9", 71-inch reach. This man was 5'9" with a 71-inch reach, fighting at 135 and 140. Okay? That's why Devin Haney was able to have the success that he had. He was much bigger than the guys he was fighting against. And he had skill. So when you got the size and skill, you can make some noise. Now this is the problem for him. All right, watch this. Brian Norman Jr., he's 5'8", an inch shorter, but he has a 72-inch reach. His reach is an inch longer. 78% KO ratio. That spells nightmare. They call him the assassin. They should call him a nightmare. That's a nightmare for Devin Haney. So y'all need to just frame this argument properly. Brian Norman Jr. I like Devin going after Brian Norman Jr. He's like, yo, I'm going after the big dog in the division. I'm not going to play around in coochie coo. I'm fighting the big dog. Okay. Can you handle the big dog's bite? Because you can't come up there to 147 and start yuppie puppying. Nobody want to hear the yuppieing and the puppying when you got Brian Norman Jr. over there, ka-woof, woof. No chihuahua against no damn Cane Corso. He'll snap you in half. That's exactly what this shit is. So, but I'll be honest with you, Devin Haney is working with Snack. And I'm not saying there's no funny business, but I'm just saying, you gotta wonder what the hell Victor Conte is doing. In addition to the experts that these guys bring in camps. But there's something in the water. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying maybe Devin Haney, maybe he can pull off that Crawford type performance. I don't know. But remember, for those of you who are thinking that Devin Haney can basically mirror Crawford's performance. All right. Crawford had like a 4 or 5 inch reach advantage over Canelo. Okay? Devin Haney doesn't have those luxuries. So it's not apples to apples. Okay? You're comparing apples to goddamn chicken fried steak. But I'm getting that shit ain't the same. You know what I mean? You comparing Jello to fucking mashed potatoes. It's not the same. Anyway, I don't know if Devin will be able to pick up that WBO strap off Brian Norman Jr. I think Brian Norman Jr. gonna make him look crazy. Then you got shit going on. Amir Khan got fighting going on in Africa and Nigeria. Then you got Anthony Joshua could be going to Ghana to fight. Everyone's telling him to retire, but Eddie Hearn knows Anthony Joshua's still the A-side money man. He won't fight Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury won't fight him. That shit is crazy. Crazy. But if he heads over to Africa, you can't blame him. They pay him a bunch of money. Go over there, make $100 million. That's just showing Turkey Al-Sheikh that, hey, when you in the house every day, it's Thanksgiving. But when we go over to Africa, it's Thanksgiving too. We don't need you. They putting up the money over here. But you look at them guys out there in the UK. That's one thing about the UK. It's very diverse. People from all over the world. And then you take them and you start mixing them up with the local population. You start getting a bunch of kids that are mixed, or kids that are parents come from other countries. So it's very diverse. A lot of open-mindedness, but a lot of the heavyweights are of Nigerian heritage, African heritage over in the UK. Most of them. You gotta understand, Nigeria is has the largest population in Africa. But that being said, they could put on a full-on Nigerian heavyweight fight card. And also another, boxer who's considered Nigerian, is Deontay Wilder. Now, Deontay Wilder did a genealogy test and everything. Basically, he found out that, his bloodline comes from Nigeria. Deontay Wilder's very proud. He's from Alabama. He's proud to be black. And he's proud of his history. And he was very happy to find out that he's of a Nigerian lineage. So they were talking about putting on a fight card that could include even a guy like Wilder. So in Africa, they love Wilder too. But I don't know if Wilder going to make it anywhere, because he may be getting in the ring with Francis Ngannou. Getting in the cage. And that Ngannou would kill him. So we can just forget about that shit if you ask me. But anyway, I just think there's some big gambles going on in boxing, and it's interesting. But the biggest gamble right now, I think it would be Deontay Wilder and what's his name, and Ngannou if they fought in the cage. But because Wilder can't win that fight, simple. But then you have Manny Pacquiao and Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero looks crazy. Rolly Romero gonna kill that dude, man. I don't know why they letting old man Pacquiao come back and get in the ring with Rolly. This is a cherry pick. Cherry pick that's going to go wrong. They tried to cherry pick Barrios, but I think they told Barrios, hey, look, don't hurt him. Because Barrios was supposed to win that fight. He was supposed to knock him out. Manny Pacquiao doesn't have the legs. He doesn't have the pivots. He doesn't have the movement like he once did. At least I didn't see it at the Barrios fight, but maybe he knocked some of that ring rust off. He's going to have it. All the tools that he had when he was younger, maybe he's going to show up against Rolly. But the thing is, Rolly got better. Everybody's still thinking Rolly is this brawler, reckless, brings chaos in the ring. Rolly is polished. Rolly's got timing, and he got brutal power, man. So old man Pacquiao with that darting in and running in shit, y'all thought Juan Manuel Marquez knocked him out, damn near killed him, right? Wait till you see how Rolly does his ass. So, and Rolly don't throw. That man don't throw to coochie coo you. When he throws shots, he's throwing to obliterate you. And Pacquiao got a big-ass target and a big-ass potato head. And Rolly hit his ass in that big potato head, that shit gonna turn into french fries. French fries just gonna... Rolly hit Pacquiao on that big potato head, that shit, french fries just gonna fly into the crowd. Like, where's the ketchup? I like garlic sauce, you know what I mean? Goddamn Trinidad and Tobago, that's my culture. That ketchup and mustard on french fries is cool. I like that Trinidad garlic sauce with the ketchup. But old Manny Pacquiao get that potato head turned into a bunch of goddamn french fries. Where's the garlic sauce? Because I'm telling you, he ain't beating no Rolly Romero. Y'all better put some respect on Rolly's name. And once Rolly touch him, Pacquiao gonna become hesitant. Don't get me wrong, Pacquiao ain't afraid of nobody. You know what I'm saying? He ain't afraid of nobody. But I just think when he feels that heat, he gonna go back to the corner. Freddie, this Rolly is not an easy fight. I'd rather be singing karaoke. You ain't gonna be singing no karaoke, but what you're gonna be doing is goddamn snoring. There's gonna be Z's coming off your head. So anyone who's a Pacquiao fan, you better keep a pillow close by because you'll cry yourself to sleep. And get you some ketchup and garlic sauce because that big potato head gonna get turned into a bunch of goddamn French fries. And Rolly gonna be off to a bigger payday. He's gonna be a global superstar. He's gonna be like, just think about Rolly. 135 was a champion, went to 140, became a champion, lost to Cruz. Rolly doesn't make excuses. He'll wait and then talk about, hey, the weight cut. I can only imagine what they went through. Him, Devin, and whoever else fought at 135. Those are big boys, man. I remember fighting, and I was fighting at 160. And I remember my coach one day, because I was blasting dudes up out of there, right? He was like, hey, we can get you down to 154. Man, I'm 6 feet tall. I walk around at 205. You know what I'm saying? This is back when I was in my 20s. You know, in the gym, lifting. I box too, but I like to lift weights and shit. Bench 385 and shit. They were telling me, yo, to get to 160, 154? Now, could I have done it? I think I could have. But when he told me that, I was like, yo, you crazy? Just me doing it on my own, I cut to 160. And let me tell you, it was rice cakes and tuna fish. A lot of running, a lot of training. And the weight just came off. Discipline. I wouldn't eat after 6. You know what I'm saying? But I just had a different kind of discipline. But for me to think I could get another 6 pounds off, and this was amateur shit. This was boxing and smokers. But I was training for fights and cutting weight and shit. We were training. The guy who I trained with, the coach, he was an Olympic alternate. So this shit about what these guys put themselves through, I couldn't imagine. And I believe Rolly. You know when somebody dehydrates themselves, their brain shrinks. You know that, right? There's less fluid around the brain. What I'm telling you is a fact. Go look this shit up. I'm not making a joke. So that's why when they get hit, they're easily concussed. And while you see they come and they start to fight at the higher weight classes, they stand up. They'll be able to absorb shots a lot better. But I think Rolly going to need to definitely be able to stand up because old man Pacquiao, look, you know, last thing to go is the power. Old man Pacquiao may put the Filipino bing-bings on Rolly. But I just got Rolly. I think first round, maybe second round, Rolly blasts him out of it. Unless Pacquiao's been living in the gym and he's back. But look, man, Father Time is undefeated. And as you get older, you may have the power, but you get older, your chin don't get better. Your chin doesn't get better. You tell me Pacquiao now, damn near 50, his chin is stronger than ever. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. And I'm going to say the same thing about Crawford. Even he's got to be careful. But Crawford's a freak, man. That dude is just genetics, athletic. He's special. But if Crawford get clipped by one of them boys at 160, at Janabek or Adamus, they hit him with something clean, which is hard to land clean on Crawford. But, hey, man, he ain't getting no younger. Somebody land clean on any of these guys, they up out of there, especially if they don't see the shot. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on a little bit about boxing. That's me freestyling. I like to do that a lot of times. I like to do the outlines too. I like to freestyle. I got so much shit on my brain. I'm going to do about 4 more videos tonight on some other fighters, some other fights. I'm going to go live as well. But just freestyle and talk. What was I going to tell you? About Eddie Hearn. Well, there's some shit about Eddie Hearn. And anyway, y'all don't care to hear about that crap. I'll put it to this way. They put a lot of people's personal business out there. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even going to do that to Eddie Hearn. I just think it's corny. But I am going to line up an interview with Gerald Big Baby Miller. So if there's anything you want me to ask him, let me know. But that interview should be coming in the next couple of days. And I'm trying to get an interview with Fabio Wardley, man. We talk on Twitter. Just I asked him, yo, man, I'd like to interview you. But I'm going to try to get some more interviews, man. But sometimes I don't be feeling like bothering people. You know, I ain't a begging type guy. But I'll reach out to some of these cats, try to do some interviews, man, so you give y'all a little bit more to look forward to. But that being said, man, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans all 7 continents. Terence Crawford returns. Let me tell you something. That man may walk into a 9-figure fight. He may walk into a 9-figure fight. For those of you trying to figure out, why is Crawford still fighting? The man's finally at a point in his career where he got real dough to fight Canelo, but now he can get, that shit to unimaginable paydays, man. Imagine you go fight and get $100 million. That's crazy. Canelo got 150. That's ridiculous, man. And speaking of Canelo ain't, Canelo, I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo just did these 2 fights and retired. Canelo's done. For all y'all out there who what if Canelo can come back, Canelo he put out a post. That man don't want shit to do with titles. That tells you he's downshifting. You know what I'm saying? He was in 5th gear his whole career, just going, foot on the gas pedal. He's downshifted now. For that man to say he don't care about title, his legacy cemented, he just wants to fight the guys the fights he thinks are interesting. And that's it. So he's telling you he wants to fight who he wants to fight. So y'all can forget about Canelo still chasing greatness and legacy. That shit's over. He's going to have fun. And he's going to fight fights he can win. And he's going to go out on top. And that's what he wants. But he ain't worried about being a champion no more. He's done. He had his run. He don't care no more. Make you wonder that Eddie Reynoso, under all that pressure for all them people cheating in his camp, make you wonder if Canelo didn't get that cocktail for Crawford. Look, I'm just saying, could be why he's downshifting too. So much scrutiny, so much attention on him. And not the right kind of attention either. Y'all keep cool, I'm in the breeze.